Austin Trucker with you. This is a hands-free video. We're heading back to the barn empty. Friday afternoon. I don't know what I'm going to call this video. I guess I could call it 1998. I could call it Chicken Truckin', Cluck Cluck. I could call it the year of the big crush. Did you hear my last story I told about picking up strangers? Yeah. Let me tell you about the dangers. I lived it. But this story, I had just quit Bud Meyer, and I got a phone call at home. I was looking for work. This guy, Gary Pons from DeRidder, Louisiana, or I should say Louisiana, called me, said, hey, I hear you're looking for work. I'm going to buy a truck for you, buy a brand new reefer, come down to Louisiana, come work for me. Now, how I knew Gary was, I should go back. That's 1998. In 1995, the year before I started doing truck shows, there was an article in, I'm going to say Truckers News Magazine. They did a makeover of 3 women in the trucking industry that were at the Iowa 8 Walcott Jamboree. I did not know any of these women. I knew of them, or 2 of them, and I would become friends with all 3 within the next year. First woman was Grimm, who was married at the time. Beautiful female trucker, been trucking her whole life. Did a beautiful makeover on her. Her and I became friends a year later, and we're still friends to this day. The second person, I'd say the most iconic, the most well-known trucking photographer ever. Definitely in North America. Garber. May she rest in peace. Beautiful woman. The best truck photographer ever. And I became friends with her a year later. She passed away, I think in early 2000 of cancer. The third woman was a woman I'd never heard of. Her name was Pons. And she was from DeRidder, Louisiana. And I believe she was sitting on top of a 359 Peterbilt that she drove with her husband at the time, Gary Pons. Now, when I saw that article, I fell head over heels in love with Pons. Big crush. I don't want to say in love, I never met her at the time. Big crush. Big smile, dimples. I was like, wow, what a beautiful woman. Man, something about her. And then a year later, I start running the truck show circuit, and I become friends with Gary and Lisa. Just by coincidence. I wasn't stalking her or anything. And I become friends with Gary and Lisa, and I see them at a few of the big truck shows, like Louisville, Vegas, Waupun, Wisconsin. And so Gary offers me a job. I take the truck back to Minnesota for Bud Meyer. I tell the new owner I don't drive Freightliners. I gave him my notice, but I fly to Louisiana. Gary picks me up. I arrive at their house. Gary says I went to the auction. I bought a Peterbilt from Dick Simon's Trucking, 379. Got a Caterpillar. It's got a Super 10-speed in it, which I did not like. And brand new 48-foot utility reefer he bought out of Houston. And I get there, and this truck is the biggest piece of shit you ever see in your life. Just, first of all, 100-gallon tanks on it. Skinny tanks. They look ridiculous. The truck's seen better days. I don't think it was ever polished. The interior was garbage. Wall-to-wall garbage. And you know, I had that sinking feeling in my stomach, but I knew what Gary and Lisa are capable of with their show truck, which is an 83 359 stretched, the 112-inch bunk on it. So I had faith. So we get to work tearing that truck apart on the weekend. The entire interior is done. They had chrome. They had all the chrome for it. Cleaned it out. New mattress. Gave the outside a bath. They gave it a quick polish. Started hauling for Gary and Lisa. And Gary and Lisa had a few owner-operators with them at the time. Some heavy hitters in the trucking industry. I like to throw that word around. Tommy Sanders and his wife at the time, Rita. He had a 379 Pete with a double eagle bunk on it. Tommy was real truck fucked. He was unbelievable. Awesome people. He had Tracy Jones, better known as Playboy, out of Cincinnati, with his purple Peterbilt that was just on the Shell Super X calendar that year. He had Todd Job on there. Todd Job also on the Shell calendar. Great guy. I know Todd to this day. I don't know what happened to Tracy Jones, and Tommy passed away last year. Rest in peace, Tommy. And went to work for Gary. You know, the deal was I just keep running, and when we get back to Louisiana, we'd work on the truck. Gary was good friends with Les and Valita, who owned Panelite Chrome Accessories in Oklahoma City. They were one of his sponsors on his truck. The deal was anytime I stop at Panelite, I get whatever I want for the truck. So I'd pick up chicken lights, and I got a bumper, and this is before visors, really. Nobody was putting on drop visors back in 98, really. And it's like chroming out the truck, interior, exterior. I was always embarrassed about that truck, though, because of the skinny tanks and the Super 10. And it had that ugly, at the time, the ugly spaghetti pinstriping from Dick Simons, which nowadays would be pretty cool because it's old school, but it wasn't old school yet back then. And I worked at getting all that pinstriping off. And I remember I screwed up one time. I was in Las Vegas at Sierra Sid's, and I got some oven cleaner, some Pam, and I started spraying the pinstripe and trying to get it all off. And it was hot that day, and I did it in the sun, and it baked the paint. And I ruined some of the paint on that truck. So that truck pretty much just looked good in the shade. But you know, we ran for Gary, and Gary had some good accounts. You know, we ran a lot of Sierra Stone out of Brookshire, Texas. We take that to the casinos in Las Vegas. I used to take that to Beverly Hills, to the rich people's houses up in the gated communities where no trucks should be ever. We go there. We had a pallet jack in the back, and we'd meet a landscape crew and unload architectural stone, real high-end stuff. A lot of produce. Salinas, El Centro, Yuma, Nogales. All produce back to Texas, Arkansas, to Sam's Club, Walmart. Produce back down to Florida. All produce out of Florida, to Immokalee, Pompano Beach, Bradenton, anywhere out of Florida, produce. We were hauling chickens for Tyson all the time. Out of Russellville, Arkansas, Fayetteville, Arkansas. We were hauling chickens out of Gainesville, Georgia, out of Tyson's in Texas. That year, I never went up north of I-40, except sometimes when I come out of LA around Christmas time, I'd bounce up to Washington State and get Christmas trees. Actually, a couple of times I did take a load up there. I got a load of apples out of Yakima. Took it down to Chicago, but that was very rare. I mostly stayed on I-10, I-20, and some of I-40. And that year, I only went home one time. And man, that was a great year. I mean, that was a 5,000 mile a week year. Working with Gary and Lisa, I had good camaraderie with them. They treated me really good. I mean, anytime you're around them, yeah, we had a good time. And I mean, man, there's Lisa just looking beautiful and smiling. And it wasn't a sexual thing. It was just she was just a real beauty. And that was a good time. She works up in Peterbilt in Billings, Montana. You ever walk in there, go, you'll see what I'm saying. And she's married now, and I respect that. And I'm married. I'm just saying. Beautiful woman, man. And I started getting burnt out that year. It was 5,000 every week. And I'd been over the road 10 years at that point. And it was the end of that year where I started deciding I gotta there's got to be more to life than this, and I got to try and get off the road. And it would take me another 10 years to fully get off the road. But when I left Gary and Lisa Pons trucking, I went and got a regional job at Ken's Salad Dressing, at Ken's Foods. And to me, that was like a local job, because Ken's, they're out of Massachusetts. And I'd only go as far as Chicago and Virginia Beach, which to me, that's local. That's only a day each way in either direction. So to me, that wasn't really even trucking, but it was me making my way to start getting a life. Funny thing is also, when I went to work for Ken's, which is 2 years after I left Bud Meyer, when I went to Ken's, I was driving a Freightliner FLD 120, the exact same kind of truck. I told the new owner at Bud Meyer, I don't drive. But that paid good. That paid really good. And I was working on getting a life. So that's my story for this week. Please hit subscribe right now. Just a personal favor to me. That's all I'm asking of you. This is free entertainment. Leave your comments down below, good or bad. Mostly good. There's 2 or 3 people that always like to give me a thumbs down right here. Do whatever you want, don't matter to me. Whatever gets you off. These are my life experiences, all I got. I don't make up stuff. I'm sorry I'm not more exciting, but if you want exciting, go listen back to my last story. That's one of my best stories. I got a few more. I'm saving them up. And yeah, it all worked out in the end, though. I tell you what, quitting Walmart, quitting, there and there, my life worked out very well for me. I'm very happy where I am now, and I'm very blessed. And thank you everybody for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Boston Trucker out.